welcome to our next episode of Torras AI. I'm so glad today to be presenting you Ori Faran. Ori Faran is the CEO and co-founder at CallVU, a groundbreaking company based in San Francisco that specializes in digitally transforming customer experiences. With over 12 years of leadership at CallVU, Ori has played a pivotal role in the company's development and success. His expertise in sales management, product management, and the strategy has been instrumental in positioning CallVU as a leader in the customer service technology space. Ori also holds a PhD in business administration, specializing in customer engagement. So I'll call him Dr. Faram. So, Ari, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Jordi, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So would you tell us a little bit about CallVU?
Yeah, absolutely. So CallVU indeed started 12 years ago when phones started growing screens. We all remember being in the business for a while now that phones started as just phones. At a certain point, phones became actually a PC, a small PC or a handheld device with a very large, very good screen. And as a person that worked for the customer service industry in a company that manufacture IVRs, interactive voice response, those voices that tells you that your call is important, I thought that we can maybe use that screen to project some of these service calls, thus creating visual IVR, so a technology that allows the person who's calling to hear the voice menus and also see them on the screens. And the company then grew a lot more, creating additional customer service-related technologies, as well as no-code development technologies. And nowadays, as this podcast focuses on, uses indeed AI to improve that.
Absolutely. That's amazing, because my story, right? I started the company in Benta. We started from search technologies. So you go to a website and you have a search, but then eventually you search, you get several answers, and you can start using this to fulfill the customer support function. Now you come from the IVR, and eventually now you see how these technologies start converging and how AI is actually making all them provide value for the customer. That's amazing. So how do you find digital self-service?
So nowadays, I think there's two key ways really to provide digital self-service. One, which is blooming, which is the newest and most exciting, is indeed interactive bots, or nowadays AI bots, which allows the user to have a fluent conversation with a computer that sounds or that talks back like a person, which makes search much easier, which makes getting to where you need to go very easy. But at the same time, at the same time, it's not necessarily an either or. You're talking to a machine. Mostly, you know that you're talking to a machine, and that can be something that you enjoy or enjoy less. The other way, which is more, let's say, traditional, which you can also enjoy or enjoy less, is clicking buttons. So in digital, since digital has started, you get screens, you get options, you get websites or applications that has different buttons and different fields that you can fill and click and proceed. So I think digital self-service can enjoy both. What we're actually trying to do ourselves is to combine the two. For us, and I think that the story is a little wider in this point, because if I'm going back to where we started, which is telephony, which is thank you for calling, your call is important, click 1, 2, 3. Because the voice is a very limited medium, and your keyboard on your older phones is very limited. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 hash. The conversation has to be very limited and very focused. You can choose from few options and then choose from few more and then choose from few more options. And that takes you as quickly as possible to where you need to go. And when we created our own system, our own visual IVR, and then broadly digital self-service technology, we actually reuse that idea. Our applications, our micro journeys are now built in a way that are few options, then few other options. Then so as a user, as a person that consumes self-service, it's very, very clear to you at each step what's your options, what are you asked. You don't need to be accurate pronouncing yourself or telling what you need. You'll always have few options to choose from, and then proceed almost like a wizard kind of approach towards self-service. And we will use this bot idea, or this bot technology, actually AI technology, where you'd be able to ask questions. For example, you're enrolling into an insurance policy or starting a new plan with your mobile carrier. When you want to ask about your plan or about your policy, you will be able to use a chat AI-based bot to communicate with a knowledge base and ask anything you need and get the feedback. So I started by saying there's two types of technology. What we're really trying to do is to combine both.
Got it. And that makes a lot of sense, because often when you use ChatGPT, right, it's amazing, but it doesn't ask a lot of questions. It tries to answer right away. And when you look at how humans behave, is first, let me ask some questions, because depending on your answers, the problem is going to be solved differently. So that makes a lot of sense, and certainly improves, I'm pretty sure, improves user experience. But CallVU does as well. I have seen on the website, right, that it has a whole thing about form and process automation, which I find it fascinating. What do you guys do in this area?
So one more thing that is very, very common around customer services, around any kind of services, is documents or forms. It can be a form that you fill or sign, or both, fill and sign. What we know from the past, 20 years is PDFs. So a document that looks and feels like a paper document. It's quite common, and it's fine. It's fine because it connects in our head to a process, a professional process that is then documented and signed and given back to us as a document that we can keep it and look at. Same goes with the company that serves that. And of course, being a company that serves large organizations, we have to and we want to support that as well. So a form can wear a few shapes. A form can look and feel like a form, like a PDF that you go and fill, or it can wear a shape of a wizard. So a step by step, few questions each step that takes you through the process, or actually even a bot conversation. So a bot-like line or a bot-like interface would ask you questions and go through the questions in the form, and in all options the form will end up completed. And also in that journey you will be asked the least needed questions. So if you're a person and not a company, you would only be asked the questions that are relevant to a private customer, and so on and so forth. So unrelated questions will be eliminated. Things that can be calculated will be calculated. If you're already a customer of the organization, information will be pre-filled. There's also a little bit of a trick in filling the form step by step. Some people will be intimidated or not very happy seeing a large form that needs to be completed. So we both try to eliminate unrelated questions, as I've mentioned, but we also try to get you started. And after you fill the first and the second and the third relatively simple screens, you will be drawn inside. So you don't want to waste the time that is already invested, so you're more likely to carry on. Additionally, you can ask a chatbot any question, or even escalate to an agent and get help. And what you want and what the organization want eventually is that form to be completed. And I think the last bit, or the second part, the first part is us as consumers having the easiest, most engaging, and I think customer engagement is a major part of it, experience completing the form in the most complete way, the most correct way, and the most accurate way. That these are all important. We will call APIs where needed to collect information and validate it and so on. The second part, however, is the organization. The organization will always get a graphically and digitally signed PDF if the process started as a PDF. Since the data is data, no one needs to read that PDF. The whole data will be taken and put in a CRM or database, mostly both. And best case scenario, which actually happens a lot of the times, is that we will feed the information all the way to an application interface, all the way to an actual operational system that will process the form, and then no one needs to read that form at the other side, at the company side, unless there's some kind of question or some kind of a mistake. So it will be all the way from something that looks and feels like a simple digital process, a form maybe, to process automation that is issuing the policy, changing the plan, charging for payment, and so on.
That makes a lot of sense. And that reminds me, the other day, right, I went to the DMV of California I don't remember why I had to go there, but it's something that I had to do. So it says you can file this online. Okay, great. So you go there, and what happens is you download a form in PDF format. It was a 5-page PDF with plenty of questions. Some of them clearly said, do not answer this question. So I don't know why you put it there if you want me to answer the question. And it is intimidating. And then online basically means that you upload the form and then someone is going to process it manually. So, oh boy, transforming that into a wizard that really intelligently walks through the process, and you are able to ask questions along the way. That's a game changer when it comes to customer service. Absolutely. I see the view here. That's amazing.
I think people who sees that might say, well, everything is now digital forms, which it is. Some is already our digital forms, which we're very lucky for. But with the larger organizations, there's sometimes thousands of forms. With the smaller organizations, transforming forms might be expensive or slow. And we're trying, as a company, we're trying to address that as well. So being a no code, as I've mentioned earlier, makes form development a very, very easy task. Taking a PDF and converting, or no PDF, starting from a need or an idea and building the form will take literally minutes or short hours. No need for development skills to build a form, to make it look great. It looks great from the very beginning, and you can change it with the brand's colors very easily. So yes, we make forms digital, which is no great surprise. Many does that as well. What we also try to do is both the higher complexity that I've mentioned, or higher sophistication, not complexity, but also I would say the democratization, making sure that as many of the organizations that we work with as many of their forms, the documents that they need to use with us as consumers, we'll be able to deliver that and to update that to the most recent version, to track how we use these forms. And if there's a question, for example, that always takes a lot of time to complete, maybe that's the wrong question, maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Maybe there's something more that needs to be added to enable the customer to understand it better. So various types of considerations are there to make sure that the really customer engagement is optimized. And there's one more thing we did mention: self-service. People being people are talkers. People very often like to talk, and that makes us feel good. That makes us feel safe. Someone is taking care of us, helping us, guiding us, and even taking responsibility for that communication or that task or agreement. So while liking self-service a lot, that's very professional and very attractive from a cost-saving perspective. Some cases are more complicated, or some customers prefer or need additional help. And all our tools, we've mentioned now forms, can be a self-service or semi-self-service or attended service, meaning that if I need the help with the form, there is an option for the agent to connect and help me. Conversation plus working with me on the form, seeing exactly what I'm writing, adding comments, circling something on my form so I understand where I'm going, and thereby, first of all, making me feel better. That's both innovative, so a very good service, and helpful, so comforting and helping to convert, and indeed conversion rates for this semi-self-service technology are great. So self-service will always be the first choice, maybe for everyone. I don't want to waste time waiting, and company don't want to contribute a person's time to help with everyday tasks, with things that are trivial. But being able to deliver self or non-self, self or attended service is what we try to recommend and work with when it comes to serving the different types.
So it's self-service, but always being supported by humans along the way to help you go through that. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Listen, let's talk about. Sorry, Ori. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about AI, right? And we now live in a world that I called post-transformer, right? Or where large language models plus gigantic GPUs hit the market with ChatGPT, and now they are everywhere. So the question is, how was CallVU using AI before that resolution and after this new world, and how you guys are benefiting from these technologies?
Maybe the answer will be somewhat surprising. I'll be very honest. In the older world, which is a few months ago or maybe a year ago, we weren't using AI much. We were actually in a way, anti-bots for a few reasons. And we weren't doing bots, we weren't doing AI. And the reason is, or actually the reasons are, I think, two major reasons. One is that there was enough other companies that did that well.
Oh, yeah.
The ocean was red enough. Everything between very, very smart bots and very, very simple ones, over text message, over WhatsApp, over a web interface, and whatnot. Even voice bots. When I was calling my airline, a bot would talk to me. That actually was there for quite many years. So enough others did that nicely. And the other reason was that we thought that if someone wants to talk to digital, they will click a button. And if someone wants to chat live or talk live, they would prefer a human being there and caring much for the consumer side, for what the customer would feel. We felt as if our job is elsewhere. Our job is in delivering digital, being digital, buttons and fields as nicely as possible, and often connected with bots for various reasons, being a bot that started the conversation, but then the conversation turned into self-service, and bot was a little lean to hold that self-service. There's no drop down in a bot, for example. There's no easy way for a bot to show me my recent transactions. That the medium is very much chat. So we did work with bots that started and then we completed the task, or the other way around. And then your second part of the question, what about now? There's no way to avoid AI anymore. First, it's too good. It's really very easy to use. There's really a lot of possible places where you can use it in great ways, and the demand is enormous. Everyone is or everyone either buys AI already or not buying anything else because they plan to. So we now both have to do that, and there's actually really great ways that really connects and combines with what we do. So, for example, you do self-service to renew your payment method with your airline, and then you have a question, and then that question can be served by AI. So it's halfway AI, or very much so, very much AI with asking questions and talking to knowledge base, but paying or making a change with the airline or with the insurance company, telecom, bank, or whatever is done the way we think about as professional, using buttons and just a great and simple interface. Another example will be scanning any document and extracting data. What used to be called OCR, optical character recognition, now done much better. So AI allows us to scan any document, even if we haven't seen or learned that document before, and extract and ask any question, extract any data. I can create a personal greeting or a personal summary, and so much more. So we are using a lot of types of generative AI and general AI. And we keep the place in the ecosystem we think we're vital on, which is, again, being no code and allowing to build the processes, the micro journeys or macro journeys, if many processes connect, really fast and with no code. So drag and drop whatever field and button you need, and you can drag and drop AI anywhere. So if that screen is relevant, that step is relevant for AI, just drop an AI smart control into that screen, and it's ready to go, including security, including integration, including trust in the information source, and so on. So that's really the before and after. Yeah.
And in your space, right? I'm thinking now out loud, but if you need an OCR, well, that's done by the AI. You need to summarize the document, that's done by the AI. You need to translate the document to another language, it's there. You want to have unstructured information and transform it into structured information, well, AI is there. So AI is now something like, as you said, is too good to ignore. But I love the way you guys keep working on user experience, right? And making. I think you define CallVU not as an AI company per se, but as a user experience company. And I love this idea. So what are the main advantages for customers and users of this vision that you guys have?
We're trying to have the best of all options, really. So respectful to AI, and it's beyond amazing. Some customers might prefer choosing from few options or searching. respectful to using AI for asking a question. Sometimes a conversation is needed. Sometimes the person at the other side of the line will be a voice that calms you down if you're unsure. We talked about insurance earlier. So insurance claim involves a feeling that the user has that needs to be addressed, and not just the technical need to report an accident or need for a claim. So what we try to really address is I would say a kind way of thinking about customer service from one angle. So being new and innovative and fast and having a good return on investment, but also being kind. And we do that, we do see very much the organization, not just the consumer. The organization is our customer eventually. But at the same time, many things become nowadays a commodity. So everyone can sell almost. It looks like everyone can start their own MVNO and sell telephone services that was reserved for giants back in the days. Open banking will allow soon banks to become something that you and I can create and then offer to our audience. And with that, communicating with the customer is an asset. Every now and then, not every day, not for things that are trivial, but sometimes you want them to feel as if there's a connection, there's a bond. You want them to recommend, to feel comfortable, to feel like a part of the group. And that's, we think, is created more when customer services is treated in a way that considered innovation and considers really the customer as a human being. So AI is there for self-service. AI is actually there to assist the agent giving the most accurate answers. AI is not just in a line of text where you can talk to a machine as if it was a human. You can also click buttons. Our promise or our vision is a little bit of both, to create something that is the most innovative but makes sense from the consumer's standpoint.
So producing experiences that make the whole process easy for the consumer on one hand, but also effective for the company that is running it, so they can streamline all these processes and make it easier and more a better user experience. That makes a lot of sense.
Maybe a historical reference that might be even a little funny is offshoring telephone services. Telephone services are very expensive. We all know that, and we all feel that with those endless voice systems that tries to avoid connecting us with a human, or at least that's the way it feels. Back at the 90s, late 90s, technology allowed voice over IP, and then taking the call center from the US and putting it at India or Philippines or elsewhere in the world was easy and relatively inexpensive to do. And since the cost is so immense, many companies did that, and that became also almost a cultural joke, how that feels a little weird for some callers in some contexts. Not necessarily the expertise, not necessarily the accent, sometimes even the cultural difference between the caller and whomever picks up the phone. And then there was an attempt to try and act as if the caller is at the end of your street. And that became for I would say 5 or 10 or maybe 15 years a bit of a joke.
That's
And
right.
then there was onshoring, so getting the agents back in the country. I think with AI, we need to make sure we're not overdoing it. The possibilities are there, more possibilities are coming. We need to treat our customers fairly. So give them whatever the technology allows, but keep in mind that they are our partners,
Yeah.
the
That
company
they
and
want
the
to get
customer.
the job done quickly and effectively, and they don't care much about how fancy your AI is. It's more about, hey, I want this process to be streamlined, to be effective. That makes a lot of sense. So, Ori, what do you think AI is coming? What are your visions for the future when it comes to AI?
Well, it almost as if the future is here. So much really is happening. Things that I couldn't imagine just a year or a few years ago. Uh, uh, what else? Well, that's a, a very interesting question. Uh, I think people are going to get more and more used to working with AI, and that's going to be for the best. I see uh, uh, the development on all parts of the industry really accelerating, be that academia, health, agriculture, and all different sciences, because suddenly searching is so not only so much quicker, it's so much more effective. It's not only searching and then getting bits and bytes and trying to combine them. It's also getting real insights that can help. This is not even futuristic. It's coming in the very short term. Developers are already in our line of business already doing so much more with an AI. Uh, it's getting a little risky at the same time because AI, what can you trust? What is true and what is incorrect? And once everything is aggregated so vastly and so quickly, the difference between true and something that was
That's right.
it sounds as convincing, both options. Hopefully, like in other vast advancements, we will learn how to adapt.
How to adopt that along the way, survive and be keeping being effective, and yet not being destroyed by all these technologies. All right, so I want to be respectful with your time, but for our audience, how can they contact CallVU and you? I'm assuming I'll put the link. I'll CallVU with a description of the video, so they can always click and ask for a demo. I guess you guys will be happy to show you how your technology works. And Ori, maybe you have a LinkedIn profile that the audience can address to. Amazing.
Absolutely. CallVU is www.callvu.com. As simple as that. CallVU is written CALLVU rather than we try to have an interesting name there. So CALLVU. I'm Ori Faran at LinkedIn. Happy to connect to anyone, or Ori at callvu.com. Naturally, yeah, I'm happy
Awesome.
to connect, to learn from, to work with anyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today, Ori.
My pleasure, Jordi. Thank you so much.
And for the audience, you heard that. Callview.com. Ori Faran is on in LinkedIn. And be ready because the next episode is going to be very interesting as well. So keep tuned to the Torras AI podcast. Have a wonderful day.